Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. If you have been here before, please like, comment and share. So guys, today I'm here with a different topic. Guys, I woke up in the past days and I'm just feeling low because of what is happening on the internet. People of Zimbabwe are crying out loud. I woke up and the internet was flooded with hashtag Zimbabwean Lives Matter. I know for some people it doesn't will some people will not understand exactly what is going on and what it means to be Zimbabwean, or what it means to have been born in Zimbabwe, and what it means when you say Black Lives, Zimbabwean Lives Matter. I will tell you a little bit story about myself, and then guess you will then have an understanding where I am coming from and where I'm going and why and what it means for me being Zimbabwean. So guys, back in the 90s, the economy of Zimbabwe was really shaken to such an extent that people were losing their jobs, people were getting retrenched from work, people were losing their houses, people were getting bills because they didn't have jobs and they couldn't take care of their families. So this led to a lot of people moving away from Zimbabwe. It led to a shift. A lot of people left Zimbabwe, moving abroad, moving to South Africa, to other countries in Africa. And at this time, around 2005, 6, a lot of things happened. I guess from 2002 up to 2008, this is the time we were hit hard. We had sanctions. People who used to sell things, they couldn't sell things abroad. Life was so difficult. And this time my dad lost his job. And when my dad lost his job, my mom had always been a trader, going to South Africa, to Botswana to work, buying and selling things, but that meant life had suddenly become one-sided. We went from being a middle class standard family, kind of living, to a below middle class, because there were standards. There were the rich, there were the middle class, then there were the poor, and we went from being a middle class to a lower range. I can't say we were poor because we could still afford. I went to a good school. I could still afford, my parents could still afford to send me to a good school, but it came also with difficulties. It came with disadvantages, what I had to go through, even going to this better school. And so in this time, my dad lost his job. My mom had to leave, like literally for good, because back in the day, she used to travel and come back like monthly. She ended up leaving to go and stay in South Africa firstly, and then later she went to stay in Botswana, because she needed to work so that she could provide for the family, send the children to school so that we could have food on our table. But it wasn't easy. It was so difficult. There were no jobs. My dad was searching for a job. He couldn't find a job. He became depressed, and he became, a lot of people became sick and depressed. They turned to alcohol and so many other things. In this time, a lot of Zimbabweans lost their minds because they had lost their jobs. They had lost so many things that they had worked so hard for. My dad had worked in this company for more than 10 years, and suddenly he works up and they tell him, you have no job. And this was a difficult time for everyone. It's not only did this affect him, this affected us, the children. So also as a family, we were affected. And this thing went and went on and on and on and on. People kept leaving because it was so difficult. Our life was so hard. You couldn't do anything to fight the system, And so I understand exactly what it means when the people are saying that Zimbabwean Lives Matter, people are tired because it has been a process. It has been a long road, and people voted for a new government. People were so excited that there was a new leader, but it doesn't mean that things changed. Things have gotten worse, they're even worse than before. You can't send money right now that is enough to do anything for anybody in Zimbabwe. People are suffering. They are no longer allowed to sell on the streets. They were making a living out of this. High graduated people would be selling airtime sitting on the streets, not because Zimbabweans are stupid, but because they were trying to survive. I guess in this world, the most hardworking people I've ever seen in my life are Zimbabweans, and it hurts me when the economy is like this, when the government doesn't really understand how much effort we are putting in trying to take care of our families, working hard, working 12 hours for peanuts, working more hours for nothing. People have some that are working day and night in the streets hustling. So the situation in Zimbabwe hasn't been easy. You graduate, everybody, whether you were graduated, you went to school, you didn't go to school, there are no jobs. There were no jobs, so a lot of people were leaving home, searching for jobs, for a better life, and some, they were actually running away from home because of the unsafety of being there. I'm going to make a list of the reasons why are Zimbabweans flooding the internet with this hashtag Zimbabwean Lives Matter. So I already prepared a list, and now I'm going to talk about it. Okay, when you go through all the posts that have been made on Twitter, people have been tweeting on Instagram, on Facebook, you will realize it is all the same things that have been written. People are saying, one person's even read and said, we are fighting the pandemic in Zimbabwe right now, and we don't know which pandemic is fatal than the other, coronavirus or human rights. And so you realize that when you compare what the situation in Zimbabwe to this deadly disease, you don't leave room for a chance for anything. This means that what has happened has already exceeded the acceptance of the people, because Zimbabwean people used to be calm. We fear the police, we fear the soldiers, and we have always been afraid to speak our minds because we are not given the chance to speak different. I guess people don't, I guess European people and other guys, they don't realize how lucky they are to live in the areas that they live in. And when I look at myself right now, I realize how lucky I am to be living here and not being back at home, because a lot of us left home not because we didn't want to stay at home, and yes, we're searching for greener pastures. We left home because we want to go and work. Most of us, all of us, those that left home for work in UK or wherever, they left because they wanted to have a better life for their children, for themselves, for everybody else. It hasn't been easy. Every blog I have read, people are saying, we left home because of this, we left home because of this. This is 10 years ago, this is 20 years ago. This is people we are crying about a situation of more than 30 years. This has been the same. So what are the people saying? People are saying this is a violation of human rights. There is police brutality. People are being abused in the streets. They are beaten up. People are suffering. The widows, orphans are not being taken care of. We don't have a social security in Zimbabwe. You die of hunger. People die of hunger. There is no help from the government. There's no assistance whatsoever from the government. We don't get Vonugeld. We don't get Arbeitslosgeld. People have to dig their own money. People have to suffer for themselves to have food on the table to feed themselves. This is why Zimbabweans work so hard, and when they get an opportunity to be in wherever they will be, they work so hard just to lead a better life. They work so hard just to have a better future for themselves and their children. And you hear people hating on us in other countries. Yes, we are foreigners, but we are not there because we are here to take what is not ours. We are here to work and to earn what is ours. When you work, you earn. There's a difference than when you steal or when you just sit at home and get things for free. We are working hard to sustain ourselves, our families. And people don't understand this pain. They don't understand this push that it didn't start with us. It started with our parents. And it came to us, the children. And this will go to our children also. And this is sad. They are saying people are dying in hospitals. Doctors are going on strikes because they are not earning enough salaries to even sustain their own families. People are jobless. People are homeless. People are frustrated. The economy has collapsed. The economy collapsed a long time ago. It collapsed so many years ago. In Zimbabwe, we use so many currencies. We use South African currency. We use Botswana currency. We use the United States dollar. We even have our own money that we use. But these 4 currencies have been circulating in Zimbabwe for more than 10 years, I guess, for as long as I can remember. Why? Because our own currency is not even stable enough to sustain us. So people will literally have to send money for those that are abroad, to send money to their families. And the only way that they can buy enough groceries is to use this US dollar, rands, or foreign currency. There's no justice. There's injustice in Zimbabwe. There's no safety, there's no peace, there's no freedom. People are afraid because it's not about sanctions, because people will come and say, yes, Trump imposed sanctions on us, or we will impose sanctions, but also it's unfair to keep imposing sanctions on us, because it's not the government that suffers, it's the people that suffers. The world cannot impose sanctions on us, because the people are the ones that suffer. The government or the people that are in the high state of life, these people can afford their lives. These people will go home to their fancy houses, they will have their fancy dinner, while the real people that go to vote are the people who are suffering. And these are the people that feel all the pain of the sanctions, the pain of everything that happens to our country. It's not just about people being aware of the situation and then saying, okay, fine, the government has been imposed sanctions on them. It's not their sanctions. The sanctions affect us, the folk, the people. And really, in any case, this is a bad situation. This is a bad situation because people are tired. People can't fight. They can't go on the streets because of so many reasons I have listed before. But at the same day, we have lost our word, but we have found our way of saying, hello world, will you pay attention to us? If Twitter can send the message out there that we are in a bad state, if Instagram can send the word out there that people in Zimbabwe are suffering, if the world can simply sit down, take a look at what is going on, they will understand that with the normal people of Zimbabwe don't live a fancy life. People are hurt. There's so much more behind closed doors that you don't see on TV. There's so much that goes on that people have kept quiet for so long because we were not allowed to talk. We fear for ourselves for talking. And now we've found our voice and now we're able to talk. Now we are talking because it's not just one person talking. It's everybody talking, and now the world has to listen. The world has to stop what they are doing and take a moment and listen to what the people has to say, because it has been a long time coming. We can't go to the streets. We don't have the freedom to go to the streets. We don't have it. We can't protest. But I guess this is the reason why Zimbabweans have finally decided to speak out and say, hashtag Zimbabwean Lives Matter. We understand this is maybe a small problem for everybody in this time at this moment, because we have a bigger problem in our hands as a world. We have coronavirus, but there's a whole lot more that is happening in the world that is still hidden, that you will not see on CNN news, that you will not read about on international news. And it's scary to know that a lot of Zimbabweans have lost their lives due to this kind of treatment. Some have lost their lives for just speaking out the truth, and it is really sad. So guys, today I decided to talk about this. Hopefully someone will hear what the Zimbabwean people have been saying. No, the people have done nothing wrong. The people only just want a better life. People are suffering. They have to pay for medication if they're sick. They have to pay for schools just to take their children to school. Why isn't all these things, why aren't these things a priority? Why can't we get these things for free, since people are paying tax, you know? Because education is key. We are the future for tomorrow. If we can't let these children go to school, we have them. Why can't government schools be free? Why can't we just have free medication? Why can't people go get go to the hospitals and find help? You know, it's so sad when you look at it. And a lot of people don't know. They didn't have this knowledge because no one hasn't been really speaking. Okay, and for those that have been speaking, they've been silenced. So yeah, well, okay. So thank you guys for watching today, and I hope you will hear a thing or two about what I said, and hashtag Zimbabwean Lives Matter.